Hey everyone, welcome to Ludicrous Feed Live. We'll just pause that music there. Welcome to Ludicrous Feed Live. Today is Thursday, the 27th of July, 2023. So nice of you to all join us wherever you are watching, of course, in this world of ours. And yeah, it's our Thursday night regular, so it'll be good to have you there. And if you're watching us live, make sure you drop a comment, tell us where you're watching from. And if there's anything you want to talk about tonight, yeah, leave it in the comments. Of course, we'll try and get to that. If you're watching us on replay, hello as well. Thanks so much for joining us, and make sure you leave a comment as well. If you're listening to us on audio podcast, hello as well. All right, well, let's say hello to our regular guests as always. We've got Riz from Carloop, and of course Rahul Prasad as well. Hello, gentlemen. So nice to see you both.
Hey.
Start with you, Riz. How are you?
Yeah, going well, Tom. Hey, Rahul. Hey, everyone. Yeah, lots to talk about tonight. Exciting.
Always so much to talk about. Rahul, how are you?
I'm good. Sorry, I jumped the gun there, gentlemen. Yeah, but the Matildas are playing tonight, so I'm a little bit excited. We won't give the game away because thank you so much for everybody for joining us tonight. If you're watching the game later, yeah, we don't want to give you the result, but yeah, fingers crossed the Matildas get through.
Yeah, go Matildas, go girls. Great to see. Yeah, thanks for joining us too. I mean, you can always have two screens, right? Us on one screen and the footy or the soccer on the other screen. So, absolutely. But thanks anyway for joining us if you're watching live or replay. Gents, as always, another big week in the EV world. Lots to discuss as always. There's never a dull moment, is it, in this industry? Riz?
100%. Let's get into it. I reckon we've got heaps to discuss.
Well, I'd like to start with a bit of a bombshell.
Oh.
I've ordered a Ford F-150 Lightning.
No.
I have.
Have you?
Yeah.
Very good.
Now,
when's it coming?
Well, I've ordered the wrap for it on a Cybertruck.
Okay.
But seriously speaking, though, I have, Tom, you asked the question a couple of weeks ago if I had a Cybertruck on order.
Yeah.
Or reservation. I managed to get one.
Did you?
I did.
Okay. Please do tell.
So, I'm not saying this would work, but a little birdie told me that apparently you can order one from the US reservation page. I didn't believe them, but I tried it and then it ended up in my account.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
So anyway, we'll see what happens.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, it's $100 US. It was like $148 with conversion and whatever. And they did bill me because I checked my account.
Right.
And yeah, it magically, because it's like a contact form on the Cybertruck page, and you fill it out, and then you can even select an Australian number. Now this is obviously all speculation in terms of I wouldn't recommend people do it because then people will say Riz told us to do it. But apparently that's what you can do. So yeah, it ended up in my account, and we'll see. I think the delivery date was 2029. No, it didn't give me a delivery date, but that's let's see what happens.
Well, 2029, at least there's a date there, right? It's only, what, 6 years away? But yeah, that's great.
This calendar is booked out up until 2029 anyway, so that's perfect timing for you, Riz.
It's 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks. That's right. It's a long 2 weeks. Well, congratulations. Welcome to the Cybertruck family, I guess.
Oh, look, me, Nash, yourself, Tom, Rahul, everyone. It's
Well done. Okay, well, we look forward to your delivery day, whether it be in Melbourne or maybe you got to fly over there to Austin to get it. I don't know.
You never know.
Well done. All right. Well, that's the sub. Yeah, I did see the wrap, the F-150 wrap, actually, this week on the Cybertruck. That was pretty funny. Yeah, cool. All right. Is there anything else we need to discuss urgently to kick off?
Yeah, I reckon, Tom, we've got to address the elephant in the room. People are already talking about it in the comments. Yeah, there's a certain somebody in this trio who made it on national TV, in the news. Want to take a stab at who it might have been, Tom?
Yeah, I'm not sure about television. They may not want me on TV, but I certainly made the news. I'll put it up for you. Yes, they used my picture in the abc.net.au. Let me see if I can pop it up here. What was it about? Secondhand EVs. That's right. That's actually quite an interesting article about the used car market at the moment for EVs. I'll put it up. Here we go. So yes, so this is it. The article is where is it? Looking to buy a used EV. Here's why they're so expensive and why they'll be more affordable. Yes. I don't know. Maybe Riz or Rahul, you want to summarize it for us?
Rahul?
No, you know what? I didn't quite read the article because I was so transfixed by with the blue Model S. So Riz,
here it is. There we go.
There you go.
Now, what I'm a bit disappointed about is that I love the fact that the legend himself is on this article. But for their cover photo, when you click on it, why isn't it the legendary blue Model S from the Ludicrous Feed channel? And why is it an ID3 that we can't get here?
Oh, yeah, true.
Next to a charging station that is graffitied and tagged the stuff out of. But look, apart from that, I think it's good to see that, it's based on the experience that you had, Tom, around selling your red Model 3. And yeah, how the used EV prices have started to come down and are likely to come down even further in the coming years, which makes it more accessible. The only thing is that ID3 there is not accessible and no one can get it.
Not in Australia, anyway. You get the Cooper Born. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Riz, I think I agree. I did read the article, and yeah, I think in summary, they're saying yes, the used market is not quite there yet, obviously because it's still the EV market's still new relatively in Australia. I think they said it takes about 3 to 4 years for new cars to turn over to become EVs, especially with fleets turning over their cars. Then you become you get more of a used EV market after that. And they called me up because they wanted to find out how much I sold the Model 3 for, and it's right there in the article. Bought it for 97, sold it back to Tesla for 60. So I thought that was quite a good deal personally, and they agreed. And I think because now the Tesla is reducing their prices, then obviously used car market will generally follow as well, which is the gist of the article that I got. So yeah, I think I tend to agree. As more used EVs come on the market, I think it's a good thing. I guess the only concern you have obviously is the fact that the battery is no longer got a full warranty. I think that I read some of the comments online from the article. I think that was one of the big concerns about the battery longevity, particularly of older EVs, and also the range too. So some of the first generation EVs like the Leafs, they're sort of 200 to 50 Ks. Now you've got cars hitting 500-600 kilometers. That's the trade-off, right? Buying secondhand, you don't get a car with a longer range. Maybe Riz, you can tell us what's the current trend at the moment. Have you got any graphs or you can sort of point to us?
Don't have any graphs at the moment, but I think there is just looking at the Model 3s. Last time I checked, the number of listings is pretty stable now, just hovering around 500 on average, and people are buying and selling them at the same time. One thing that I think the article didn't touch on, and I guess it's a phenomena that us Tesla enthusiasts know, first week of every quarter this year, Tesla's dropped prices. And as soon as they drop prices, it takes about 4 to 6 weeks for them to be truly reflected in the used car prices. Because if you can buy a new Tesla for 57,400 plus on roads minus subsidies for the states that have them, why would you buy a used Tesla? That's and if you want to sell a used Tesla, then you have to price it to what the market's willing to pay. So those sort of unique elements of, let's say, Tesla's pricing are not indicative, and they're very hard to track. So even companies like, I think they've used ATM, who basically are owned by, I think, Pickles or one of the auction houses, so they see auction transactions. That's not reflective of what's really going on, because what's really going on, as soon as Tesla cuts prices, a lot of owners get concerned that they paid $65,000 for the same car. That is actually a better car in 2023. That is now $57,400. So, just one thing to note. In terms of the battery, like long life of a battery, I think we know the batteries today, as you touched on, Tom,
Yep.
are a lot better than what they were. And I think with LFP battery technology, which is only 2 or 3 years old in mainstream EVs, we're going to, it won't be a question in a couple of years' time as to how long batteries last, just as it's not a question today as to how long your engine will last when you buy a new ICE car.
Yep. Very good point. Question from Paul Elliott. Any idea how many New South Wales grants are left? I do actually. Let's show you this. So this is from the New South Wales government website. As of 30 June, which is like a month ago, 7,505 rebates have been paid out of the 25,000 rebates eligible for the new EV purchase with dutiable value up to $68,750. I don't know. Is that kind of on track? What do we think? Is that a bit lower than we expected? This started in September 2021, so we're almost up to the 2-year mark now.
I sometimes look at this and think, I don't know, there seem to be Victoria, actually, according to them, if you go to the Solar Victoria page, they reckon they paid out 10,000 in roughly the same time frame, or they started a couple of months earlier. So there's an issue where I think if we dig a bit deeper, because they're surely with New South Wales uptake, it's I've got to dig a bit deeper into the data to know what's going on, and maybe that's something that I can present to all of our audience in the coming weeks as to what's going on, because I think the number should be higher than that.
Yeah, I agree, Riz. I would have thought that'd be much higher, all the ships coming into New South Wales and the rest of Australia. Is it because some of the cars are being bought through novated leases and hence it doesn't qualify them for the rebate? I wonder.
Could possibly be the case, but if you just look at the BYD fleet, I think in New South Wales there is way over 2,500 of just them, and then there is all the Teslas, especially the rear-wheel drives, Model 3s. They're eligible, and there's a whole lot of them. And then there is the MG ZSs and the Leafs, and I guess some models of the Kona. So interesting to see. And like you said, maybe it is the leases, but I think even at private buyer level, and maybe people don't know about them, but I thought it would be applied automatically.
Yeah, I mean, it also could be because there's a bit of a lag with claiming these things. You've got to, obviously get on the New South Wales website and actually claim it and put in your details and all that. It doesn't take long. It took me like 5 days to get the $3,000 back from my rear-wheel drive Model 3. And you'd expect now that the rear-wheel drive Model Y falls under that rebate, given the price drop, then you'd see, expect that to go up as well. So yeah, interesting. I'll certainly keep track of that as time goes on, and to see whether that ever gets exhausted this decade. We'll see. Hey, 2027 is when our road user charge apparently comes in. So
I just want to quickly jump in there and about the rebate. Despite the fact that it's ended in Victoria, I have actually seen no reduction in EV cars on the road in Victoria. Riz, you might agree with me on this. I think while the rebate is a carrot and an incentive, but people who have been interested in buying an EV, the fact that pricing has come down, there are sub 40 and 40K cars in that EV sort of segment market now. I'm seeing more EVs on the road in Victoria, than I have ever seen. In the time that I've always had an EV as well. So that's definitely the case. And in terms of market pricing of cars as well, I think I shared that tweet last week or a couple of weeks ago in the US, where this guy, I think, got an EV, a Model 3 for like $13,000 US. With taxes, it was 18, 19K. And I think we're not quite there as yet, but for people who are looking at buying an EV, and if they're watching this stream, give it 2 years, give it 3 years, you're actually going to see prices really come down considerably when those, people who bought EVs are looking at upgrading like I did with my Model 3, and you're going to sell it for that market price or even lower just to make sure that it does sell so you can move on to the next vehicle.
Yep, good points. Thanks, Rahul. Yeah, well, that sort of leads into the second-hand discussion we had as well a bit earlier. So yeah, nice. Let's take a few comments from the audience who, 113 at the moment. So thanks everyone for joining us this, on a Thursday night here on Ludicrous Feed Live. Richard Laxton saying car will wear out before the battery, probably. Yeah, good point. I mean, my Model S is almost 8 years old. I think it's lost 7% in that time. Over 100,000 kilometers driven. So. Sydney EV, hey Rob, nice to see you. iMove turns 14 years old today. Happy birthday, iMove. Battery built in 2009 and in a 2010 plated car. That's great. 14 years. And original battery still gets 80 kilometer range from a 110 kilometer range when you. Hey, it's good for a quick trip, isn't it? Nice. And yeah, Charles is saying you watching the Matildas in the background. Prime pitch side advertising banner showing Kia EV6 right now. Okay, very nice.
Ooh.
Very nice. Anyone seen any Tesla ads?
No.
No, I haven't either.
No. They're meant to be starting advertising, aren't they? That's the point.
I think their advertising is a little bit different. I know they've been trialing some Google ads, but they've been a lot more active on their social media, Twitter, explaining sort of the benefits. And I think they even did a LinkedIn video talking about more around their collision centers in the US, and that was more of a hiring side of a video trying to encourage people to apply Tesla collision centers. They also went to Goodwood Festival of Speed, which was on, and I don't think that's free. I think so they're putting their money sort of in these where they can get a lot of media attention. So maybe it's expos and shows to start with and a bit of Google advertising, and still waiting on the day when we see the big banner ad. I think a lot of them I don't know how they're going to outbid Polestar, because they seem to be on every billboard.
Yeah. Maybe Tesla's doing more targeted advertising, being a bit smart about it, rather than just like, here it is, here's the Polestar, here's the Kia EV6. Sure, you get the views, but obviously you want the, what do you call it? What do they call advertising? The ratio, right? The click through ratio.
They don't want the sales; they just want the views.
They want the views. Yeah, the metric is different, I think, for different companies. JD Media, definitely more EVs on the road. Geelong way, every block we see one. Nice, very good. Peter Cook, hi Peter. I'm a little concerned today that I added 53% to my car using 24 kilowatt hours, which on a 50 kilowatt hour SR Plus is starting to get into concerning battery health territory. Yeah, Peter drives an Uber, I know for a fact. 232,000 kilometers, mind you. Be good to do like a scan my Tesla kind of test, Peter. That'd be good, I think. Just to see where you're at with all that mileage. And Paul agrees, yes, there should be more rebates now with the Model Y qualifying in New South Wales. Correct. Yep. Charles agrees with you, Riz. I think Tesla were just doing text Google ads. Yep. That's all that's been reported, correct. I think the general gist is like, don't need to advertise. Yep. I guess they're pretty agile with the demand, right? We can adjust the price accordingly. Tesla had a version 4 charger at Goodwood with tap to pay on it. Yes, I saw that with a credit card reader. Kevin, good question. Hey, Kevin, nice to see you. Kevin's from Florida. How high is the gas prices over in Australia? Well, I suppose in Sydney it's about $2 a litre at the moment, which I don't know what that is in dollars per gallon, Kevin. Work that out.
$6-7 odd dollars. I think gallons around 3 liters, 3 point something liters. I may be wrong. So 7 to 8 Australian dollars, which would probably be, I don't know,
5 to 6.
6 US dollars.
Yep. Yeah. Thanks, Kevin. Let's put this up here on the stream here. So might spend some time talking about this topic here. EV owners call for end to free fast charging to prevent charging queues. Certainly a controversial topic, I reckon, gents. I'll summarize this article real quick. So basically, the call is to stop free EV charging in general, because it's kind of spoiling the market. It's sort of, people aren't turning over as fast because it's free, right? People love free stuff. And the other problem is that a lot of the company like OEMs are offering free charging with a third-party provider. For example, ChargeFox. You get free ChargeFox charging with, I think, Mercedes, BMW, I think, as well, is offering it. So then you've got owners with free charging, free DC fast charging, again occupying space. Bit hard, gents, I think, to get around this. What are your thoughts on where we should be on free charging?
Riz, you want to go first?
Well, I guess so. NRMA, sort it out.
Yeah,
can't keep doing this for free. It's turned their brand from something people really look forward to, NRMA, reliable chargers, 12, 18 months ago. Now with the number of EVs, basically NRMA is in the bad books. And there could be strategic reasons why they're doing it, to showcase that they can operate a large network and it's got a lot of usage. So then they should be winning more of a federal level contract like they have with delivering the 117 plus sites. But the app needs to come, it needs to be charged. It's fair, people pay for it. And, I think that just needs to happen. It's doing a disservice to most EV drivers in New South Wales.
Yep. Agreed, Riz. Agreed. Rahul, thoughts?
Yeah, 100%. I think I agree with Riz and you, Tom, there. I think what NRMA could do, or ChargeFox could do, obviously they've dangled a carrot for people to buy EVs, and the fact that they've included, say, 3 years, 5 years, whatever, 1 year of free charging, and the people who bought them in good faith, should get that deal seen through. But perhaps they could look at limiting that in off-peak times. During peak times, during holidays times, those public charges need to be free. And I think, we've spoken to Rob from ChargeFox in a prior live stream where he said, hey, ChargeFox's ethos is now to have more free plugs available for more EVs to charge, so they can just continuously keep on charging. Like Tesla does during the holiday season or during peak periods, limit that charging to 80%, not 100%. I think in that article, somebody mentioned that this guy in a Mercedes-Benz EV was there every second day. And it was like, why wouldn't I? Because it's free.
Yep.
And it's kind of like, hey, that's just not okay. When there's a bank of EVs waiting to charge just because you've got it for free. So I think the understanding around EV charging needs to change. But we're talking about something that's been, people have been doing this for 70, 80 years or so, going to a petrol pump, just putting their plug in, charging. Sorry, not charging, but filling up the fuel or whatever. It's a different mindset for EV charging that we need to educate people around, and that's going to take a little bit of time. But I don't think that charging people exorbitant fees or fining them long term or big fines is going to convince them. I think it's slow and steady, loads of education.
Yeah, good point, Raul. Education definitely is the key. I'll just take some comments first from the audience. So Scotty, on my way back from Canberra, ended up charging on the Tesla chargers due to ChargeBox being full. And Tassie EV1, Tom Maloney, EV YouTuber, Inside EV's senior editor, has a whole rant video about free charging from manufacturers. Too many are hogging chargers sitting there to 100% not charging at home. And look, I get the point of the Mercedes driver here. Like, you can't really blame them. The charging is free, right? It's not illegal. It's just obviously not courteous, but it's free charging. And a lot of these OEMs are offering not just like 1 year free charging. It's like 5 years free charging. So, and it's hard to go back on that word. You can't say to the owner again, oh, sorry, we've sort of reneging on that deal. They bought the car in good faith knowing they'll get free charging. And I know what people are going to say if they had that car. It's not my problem, right? I bought this car and had to deal with the free charging. I'm going to use it. Are we beyond etiquette, gents? I mean, this is 2023, 8% uptake in Australia. are we beyond etiquette? Do we need to start implementing rules and idle fees, all those kind of things?
Well, if you look at what Tesla does in Europe and other parts of the world, they have, I guess, time of day pricing. They also have, and it's not uncommon for Tesla to help out with free charging. They do offer free charging every now and then in certain parts of the world, whether it's a crisis going on like it was in Ukraine, whether in certain parts of the US, every now and then they will do that for whatever reason. If they,
Yep.
And I think that sort of stuff is, free charging can work, and it can be a good thing and a benefit to the community and EV owners. But at the same time, it needs to be done in a smarter way.
Yep.
And at the moment, a free for all, basically, I think it's setting the tone for a few scuffles at chargers, trying to see whether a Mercedes versus someone else can charge there. So I think it's time we need to do that. We have way more EVs. We've gone from 67,000 to over 110,000 EVs in 6 months.
Amazing.
Yeah. So we haven't seen the same increment increase in charges. So anywho.
No way. Yeah. I'll put some more comments up here. Great discussion, by the way, everyone. Thanks for chiming in. Charles says there's been an issue where there are lots of Sixt rentals too. They get free ChargeFox usage included. That's right. Ends up with people who don't know the etiquette, or they don't care because they're not paying the dollars. And a rental may be someone who's been in the EV for the first time, so that you can't expect them to have the level of education that we regular users may have. Gaffer also says no more free NRMA DC charges. The only type that should be free are destination AC charges, and I do agree. I think AC charges probably are not as big a deal. A lot of proprietors may put AC charges as a value add to their business, to invite you in or attract you in to the shop or cafe or whatever, and that's fine. I think DC charges are an issue because it's a limited resource. People want to get back on the highway quickly. Peter Cook, one of the
bring up this point, Tom. I think we discussed this last week. This lady who was driving a BYD, I think from Sydney to Canberra, Jane Caro, her name was. Obviously older generation, trying out an EV for the first time, not having enough charge, starting to panic, get to a charger, maybe it's not available, and so their mindset would be, hey, I've had difficulty trying to find a charger. I want to charge to 100%. Whereas a bit of education, if they had that prior, they would understand they don't need to charge to 100%. They just need to charge to whatever's going to get them to their next stop, and then they can charge at that next stop. So, shifting people's mindsets around that in that older generation as well, or people who are not aware of EV charging etiquette, is going to take time. But yeah, worthwhile investing in that. But we need a national body to enforce that regulation around, because I think it's probably not right that manufacturers or charging infrastructure providers or software providers like Tesla or ChargeFox or EV have to enforce that. There has to be a national organization that can do that on a national level.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, Rahul. I mean, we don't have to charge 100%. And I often try not to on road trips. If no one, obviously, if someone's waiting, I'll move quickly. But if no one's waiting, maybe. Because that last few 10, 20% is quite slow. And, a new EV owner may not be aware of that. Whether we put stickers on these chargers or, I don't know, with screens that have video capability, maybe have a message going on like saying, do you really need to charge to 100%? I don't know what it is, like an on-the-spot education, right? We can't expect people to watch videos all the time about EVs that may not be their interest. But just some quick spot education on the charging sites, just to say, wait, maybe 80% is enough, maybe 90% is enough, right? Have a look at the range you've got in your car, to get to the next destination. Just something like that. But I do agree. I'm a big proponent of idle fees, with a bit of grace, like this picture here, 10 minutes once it's finished. And I know ChargeFox is trialing that in the new WA charging network, which is really good to see. And Tesla's been doing it for years, obviously, which seems to work. Cars do turn over faster at a Tesla supercharger. So yeah,
I need those 10 minutes because my kids are going to go, hey, I want to go to the bathroom, but on the way back, you're going to get distracted by the donuts and they're going to get distracted by the merry-go-round. I need those 10 minutes. Thank you very much.
Kids, the times are ticking. Come on. Daddy's going to pay. Yeah. Let's take some more comments here. So, Chassis EV1, free charging needs to go. If they want to incentivize it, then they can say only a certain number of kilowatt hours max. Yeah, that's not a bad way to do it. Kilowatt hours per day, idle fees are a way to go. Yep. Correct.
Well, Jolt had it right. 7 kilowatt hours. That's all you get.
That's right.
Maybe that's what we need.
That's a really good model. Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the other carrots that we could dangle for people as well, which I think again we discussed last week, Tom and Riz, New South Wales investing in curbside EV charging. I reckon that could be an absolute game changer. If you have a curbside charger available on every suburban street in Australia, or at least 2, that's going to make a massive difference to people using DC charging. If I can park my car outside my street, considering I don't have a garage, but if I have access to a curbside charger, or if my council allows me to install a curbside charger, or at least a connection to the curbside, the fact that I can charge at, say, 5-6 kilowatts overnight for 6 to 8 hours means I have 50-60% to do my daily business. And if I need to charge, if I'm going on a longer trip, that means I only use a DC charger for 30 minutes at most.
Yep, great point. Let's take some comments real quick. So Gaffer says, NRMA asked myself and other EV members about charging. One of the things they were thinking about offering a membership plan that included $0 charging from their chargers. I said, bad idea. Good work, Gaffer. Good work. Peter Cook says, free charging should cease at 80%. Also a great point. Great idea. Click off, idle fees apply. Or if you want to top up more, then it'll cost you. I think that's also a good model. Gaffer says at best they should offer 50% off or for whatever for members. BNP Paribas says, I love Rahul. There you go. Got a fan there. Greg Wilson, people need to stop thinking about always charging. Charge when you need it. Yep. Good point. We get a benefit, but you won't get people using it like a parking spot with reference to the NRMA thing. Yep, very true. Yep, and Johan agrees with you, Riz. Jolt has a good setup. Yep, free first 7 kilowatt hours. Much better. I like that too. Yep, Greg agrees with me. 100% we are past the enthusiast owners. It's now mass market. Thank you.
So on charging, if we're talking about this workplace charging, now I'm assuming most people purchasing a Tesla, apart from retirees and maybe students, if you've got a Tesla and you're a student, you've got too much money. But for most other people driving electric vehicles, I guess most people work at a location. Some drive to their work, and if you're driving to your workplace and you have a car park there, state governments and federal government needs to do a lot more to encourage workplace charging to happen, particularly in workplaces where there is solar available. So we're not talking about sort of CBD high-rise buildings, but just while there's solar available or additional load in the system, we should be able to charge our vehicles there. So pretty much there needs to be a ruling as to number of car park spots every workplace needs to have an EV charger at. We should be charging when the sun's shining, so we're not doing the same thing at DC fast chargers. And it's convenient, it's the right thing to do. So I think that may help with some of this congestion at these chargers and idle fees and starting to, offer charging at a cost. Nothing should be free, otherwise it'll be abused.
Yep, correct. Free chargers will attract freeloaders, not what we want. It's natural state of play, isn't it, at the moment? Yep, Evan Rose, who's going to pursue this? We need a national body. Yep, good point. We've been talking about that. Correct.
I think Albo will, because he's over in New Zealand learning how it's all done. So when he comes back, he's going to get Chris Bowen into a room and say, we need to get this happening.
Let's do it. Gaffer, what's worse than EVs plugged in and waiting for 100% or the owner going AWOL? Oh, it's frustrating, isn't it? EVs that use a charging spot as a parking spot, that's even worse, and don't plug in. Yeah. Right on. What do you think about having a requirement that EVs at busy sites stop at 80% and unlock so someone else can unplug and charge on it? I suppose that's good, but then like the car's still in the charging spot, so that solves one problem, but you can't physically move that car, I guess. For now, anyway. Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks everyone. That's really helpful actually, and all those ideas are good too. So hopefully, someone from NRMA or ChargeFox or EV or one of the other third-party companies are watching this. There's some good ideas out there to help with getting turnover of chargers. Gents, we might roll through some of the news that we've been putting up on our private Discord here. So I might put this one up. So this is really interesting from Tech AU. Jason says Optus has an immersive superstore in Melbourne. And they're offering EV charging as well, or EV charging solutions at these stores. As I'll just share this one. So, have either of you been to one of these superstores in Melbourne? Seeing this?
I haven't as yet. I am with Optus with my mobile, so I should definitely go in there, get a new mobile phone, and yeah, look at some of these charges as well. So yeah, great to see that the telecommunications sector is also getting into this as well. It just goes to show you that it's no longer just a niche product; it's becoming a mass market product as well, where we're looking at EV charging as a regular, tech product. Yeah.
Yep. Yes, becomes sort of mainstream, right? Which is good. Do I still call these tweets or what? X or what? X's, yeah. Whatever. This post by our good friend Nash. Next EV news discussion. Of course, we'll discuss this for you, Nash. So, Tesla sues CapEx over battery technology. Interesting point here. Riz or Rahul, anyone know more about this?
I can't comment about anything worth suing because I'm probably going to get sued as well. So, Rahul, I'll let you take over.
I don't know much. I think it's more to do with the patent. But so I think that Tesla bought Maxwell Technologies, which were originally based in the US, which is to do with the supercapacitors, I think. And obviously CapEx, which is the Australian company, is also involved in that field as well. So it's going to be interesting how this plays out. I don't know how big the CapEx company is. Tesla obviously being a bigger company, and the fact that they acquired Maxwell Technologies a while ago. We'll see how this plays out, put it that way. So yeah, interesting.
I'll take some comments real quick. Yes, Skynet says I have been inside the store, the Optus store, corner of Burke Street Mall. Richard says, hi Tom, we recently ordered a Tesla Model 3. Congratulations. First time EV and car owner. Oh, new car owner too. Good. Kids and I have been following your channel for the last several weeks. Thank you. Thanks for providing some great info. No problem. Ray joins us. Hi, Ray. Are you heading to Texas for 31 August for Cybertruck delivery? Keep those donations coming. I'm happy to go for everyone.
31st, is that confirmed?
Ooh, did someone post that on Twitter, on X recently?
Well, Ray knows it all. I think that's, it must be.
Maybe that's why Nash is in the US.
Oh,
now we know.
Geez, it's all making sense.
Bev, I'm sorry to hear this. Received my new Model Y in South Australia last fortnight, and my camera calibration was stuck. Oh no, they had to replace the entire internal computer. Oh dear. Sorry to hear that. That does happen. It doesn't just happen, but it's a car. It's a machine, isn't it? Faults do happen. So I'm sorry to hear that, but hopefully your experience will improve from here on, Bev. All right, so let's whip through some more of this news. So we've got Sawyer saying that Tesla has launched 84-month financing in the US. How many years is that? 84. That's 7 years. That's a long time for financing. We've never had anything more than 5 years for a personal loan. So wow. Does anyone here have a 7-year-old Model 3? No, that's impossible. 7-year-old car? 7-year-old Tesla? Apart from myself? It's a long time, right? Yeah. Let's see. Let's keep going. So, electric. Rivian adds cheaper dual motor option to R1T, R1S configurator. Rivian, $73,000.
Yeah, well, we think Cybertruck might be under 60. So, as in a base model, whenever they do release that. Elon wasn't happy with Ford F-150's pricing. So, obviously, they've got a wrap now. So, you can buy that and you get a $10,000 discount. So, $50,000 is what we're hoping the Cybertruck dual motor, I'm assuming that'll be the base model, will be. So, but Rivian's kicking some real goals, I think. If they can continue to expand, they've got a new factory coming online in the next, I think, 18 months or so. And yeah, there is demand for what, dual motor products out of Rivian for both the truck and the SUV. So good to see them finally deliver some of those lower entry level models.
No, exactly. The dream is that obviously it'll come to Australia. We shall see. Sydney EV Geely Group have hinted that the Radar 4x4 EV Ute will come to Australia. Woohoo! How about that? Yeah, happy to test drive that, of course. Ray is saying Tesla on their page. I assume Tesla Australia is offering 7-year through plenty. Okay. Again, I think it's a long time for a loan personally. Yeah, just keep in mind 7 years ago, just think of what the EV market was like, right? So just be careful taking a loan that long. Who posted this one? It was Riz, MG Comet.
Look, I know it will never come here because we have ADR and other rules that I think, we need to rethink. Inner city cars, we should have more of, with speed limits, of course, or speed restrictions. But yeah, cool little micro car. I know China's got a couple. This, obviously, MG is going to India. I think it's based off, might be a Wuling product, one of their proper Wuling Mini equivalent. Yeah, cool car. I think does around 100 kilometers ish.
Okay.
And yeah, for people like wanting to get their first electric car, it's a great thing.
Yeah, little zippy little thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think, personally speaking, having grown up in India and having been back a few times in the last 10 years or so, and considering the traffic there, inner city, I grew up in Mumbai. Yeah, that car would just be perfect for inner Mumbai. There's a lot of traffic, but you don't travel too far. And this kind of car would just do amazingly well for that market as well, considering the price point as well. So yeah, great to see that on the market in that segment. Yes.
Look at this one. This is convertible. Wonder if it's soft top or hard top.
Yeah, they sell similar cars in Europe. I think some of the audience is commenting. Renault Twizy and Citroen has one as well, and if they can sell them there, like, I know Australia is a bit different, but for inner city, in restricted or some rezoning needs to happen for these cars to exist, and I think for most people running around flexi cars and others, it's a great thing.
Great for like food delivery, right? Or parcel deliveries too. Just around inner Sydney or in Melbourne. I think these could work. Yeah, cool. Rahul, I think this was yours. CarBuzz. New software claims 25% faster EV battery charging time.
Yeah, again, I think it just addresses that problem of having more chargers available all the time for EVs, or considering that we're selling more and more EVs. I think what did we talk about last week? I think 8% increase in EV sales nationally, Riz. So yeah, if we can improve EV charging times, which means that cars are charging quicker. And I think this is a UK-based company, but yeah, obviously it's software based. I'm sure if they can, get it working and have it successfully working in the UK, no reason why they can't get that software working in Australia as well. So there you go.
I'm trying to get my head around this. So they actually manage your BMS for you, is it, via software?
They'd have to talk to the BMS, otherwise they won't take the charge.
Yeah, I wonder whether something like Tesla, which is pretty closed loop, whether they would allow that kind of system. But maybe other manufacturers would. Not sure. But yeah, whatever smarts can help turn over charges faster in a safe way, I think I'm all for. California station can charge up to 40 electric motor coaches. How good's that? The future is here. On the back of our talk about electric buses, right? On Saturday, Riz.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but I think that brand there, Proterra, is a Spanish brand, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yep. Proterra, yep.
And I think in Victoria, Riz, we do have Proterra buses as well. So yeah, you know, the fact that we have some electric buses on the road, which I actually have seen personally on one of my trips in my local area, fantastic, because you know you're expecting this bus to have this massive engine noise and it's completely silent. The fact that they've got these charging stations, amazing. If we can get that in Victoria or in Australia, that could change public transport. You know, we already got trams that are electric. We've already got trains that are electric. We can have buses that are electric as well. And if we've got cars that are electric as well, if that's one thing that we can all affect on a minute scale, switching to electric, that's a massive, massive saving on a national level on CO2 emissions and global CO2 emissions as well.
Yeah, I mean, electric buses is just, for me, it's a no-brainer. It's something the government can definitely control. It's like their fleet, you know, put it on the road. Stop with these stupid trials. Just, it works. Just put electric buses on the road. Peter Cook, always with the balanced argument here. The more EV microcars we see, the fewer people will consider buying an EV. They don't want to be seen as someone who compromises. Bad for business. Okay, fair. Still, delivery drivers, I think it'd be good for them. They do lots of short trips. And Peter says the electric buses in Canberra have a cowbell that rings once a second as it arrives through the city bus interchange. How cool is that? We need more cowbells, definitely. Yeah, nice. Next article. It is The Guardian saying Queensland risks hindering EV transition with proposed home charging rule changes. Industry body says. I could see two sides of the story, gents. They want to limit home charging to protect the grid, I think. That's their argument. But then do we want the government controlling our charging at home? Thoughts?
I guess it's the lockdown era again. No, it's in Victoria we have smart meters, and technically that was a bit of a forced rollout. And I don't know how effective they are because it feels like government or utilities still don't know what's going on with people's homes and electricity. So something a bit more controlled. I mean, that's the ideal thing, right? Like they keep talking about having smart chargers and people should only be buying smart chargers because we can then control how much electricity goes through your charger. And when we need to restrict it, we can restrict it. People will tell them to bugger off because that's not how it works. Give people incentives, financial incentives to charge during the day at workplaces and at any other time when there is excessive energy in the system, and people will do it. If you control what and when they can charge, then yeah, that's going to be a bit of an issue. Quick comment, that I think is an ID4, which we still don't have here. So I don't know what the obsession is with our media who don't really understand what EVs we have in the country. And that orange indicator thing on the side also gives it away. It must be a US product.
Yes.
So anyway, rants over. But yes, no controlling.
Riz, you know the answer. It's a conspiracy. You know that.
I think it's VW. They're like greenwashing us with their products, which we can't get.
We can't get, yeah. Now, it's a great point you make about incentivizing rather than just telling us what to do. Money talks, right? And this cycles back to our arguments about DC charging. You know, if you make it like time-based or demand-based, then people will do the right thing rather than just enforcing it like that. Oh, Sinead O'Connor dies at age 56. Was that recent? Sorry, I'm just looking at the side banner here. Vale Sinead. But yeah. So interesting. What are your guys' thoughts? Leave your comments below about that. Do you want providers controlling your EV charging at home? Interesting subject. Okay, so Jason, again, Tech AU, Tesla building out Australian FSD team with 6 new positions, including manager supervisor. So a bit more high level than our ADAS drivers we saw a few weeks ago. Gents, we must be close. Like, they're starting to flesh out these FSD ADAS positions in Australia. We saw this in the US before they launched the FSD beta. We must be close. 2 weeks, surely.
Yeah, Europe's also had it probably 2 months ago. Then Australian positions, which were earlier, and then they were taken down. They must have hired people, and yeah, now the managers. I think we're getting close. I think the whole point around doing a lot of testing, I think over the Q2 earnings call, they said they've had 300 million miles driven with FSD beta.
Wow.
And Elon expects that to grow exponentially. So just imagine that 300 miles of training data that no other company has. And that is just growing and growing and growing. And people are happily paying to be, what's the right term? Lab rats to do this, which is, there's enough value in it and people are doing it. I think it's fantastic. So yeah, managerial positions all happening and hopefully 6 to 12 months, aka 2 weeks.
2 weeks, that's right. But we talked about this too last week. There's speculation of a OEM using Tesla FSD eventually. I think Ford was the sort of the contender there, wasn't it?
Correct. Yeah, but I think we also talked about this as well last week, Tom and Riz, the fact that people have bought FSD in Australia. I think the earnings call, Elon mentioned that they would allow a one-time transfer of FSD across vehicles in Q3. But I think also the flack that they might have received and whether they have seen that feedback from the Australian market on the fact that even though we have paid, including myself, for FSD, which is not a usable product, unfortunately for us, at what stage do you go, hey, we will honor the agreement for you, having bought that for, say, 5K, 7K, 10K, 15K, and you waited this amount of time. So yeah, eventually they do need to either release that product locally for us in Australia for us to be able to have some version of it, or refund people's money back is my understanding of it. And I think they may have heard the Australian audience, considering that Nash is also in the US doing his celebrity tour and putting in that
his rockstar tour.
I was about to say, I think Nash is secretly working for Morris Blackburn. And he's over there putting together a class action as we speak.
Yes, that's
so
right.
Nash, you've heard us on the live stream. You're out there. Tell Elon we need to do something about getting it here quickly. So I think they're working on it.
Correct. But yeah, on a serious note, Rahul, I agree. I think hopefully as a gesture of goodwill, when FSD does drop here, they'll go back through all the records and go, okay, people have actually sold their cars with FSD attached to it. Here's your money back, or here's here's your FSD if you have a new car. I think that'd be really nice, right? It's it's a way of thanking all these early adopters who bought FSD in goodwill or good faith. So, yep, fingers crossed.
But I think with the same token as well, do you think that with the Model S and X, might I add, owners like yourself, Tom, if you were looking at a new Model S or X, I think it would be very hard for them to justify to their shareholders giving money back for something. And I think that that's a battle, given Elon is still in courtrooms pretty much on a monthly basis about that one tweet he said funding secured.
Oh, yes.
So given that's the case, I think they're not in too much of a rush. It's basically a loss of some sort. So it'd be very interesting. I hope they do it as well, but I think history sort of says they will be reluctant to do so.
No, it's fair call, Riz. Very pragmatic as always. But yeah, maybe not refund, but maybe credit, right?
Yeah.
The future purchase. I think that'd be nice too. Yeah, there you go. Greg's Detective Riz. Yep, as always, the ID3. Sydney EV Cooper Born is, well, it's on the ID3 platform. It's not technically an ID3. It's a separate company. Yes. Oh, good. Sid's going to apply for one of those jobs. Yeah, let us know before you sign your NDA. So let us know what's going on if you do apply. Nash must be over in Texas doing his interview for the manager supervisor for the FSD team. Yeah. Elon tweeted, or is it X'd today, that version 12 is unbelievable. Nice.
Ooh.
And I think Nash has tried FSD in the US,
Yes.
and also our good friend who's, again, been on a live stream. So yeah, people, if you haven't checked this out, Tom, you've got, had these people over on your stream. Darren Yung from Singapore, I think he's been in San Fran and LA, and he's tried out FSD as well. And both of them have absolutely raved about it as well. So yeah, we can't wait to have this in Australia. Elon, if you're listening or podcasting or Spotifying or whatever, we need FSD in Australia now.
Yep. Right now. So Ray's saying, RAA charges, first rapid EV charging site comes online, next locations announced. Okay, go check out that link, everyone. Have a look. I think a few people are over in the US for Tesla Takeover. I think there's an event happening in August. We'll look out for that on social media. Let me just see what else we've got to talk about. Oh, yes, let's talk about this. Rahul, this is probably important for you. Street charging. Discrete street charging. How good's this?
I love it. Again, I just feel, why are we lacking this in Australia? I think if we could have off-street charging available, and I think this is a great solution. I'm happy to have people tell me otherwise, but that looks pretty neat to me. If we can allow people that permission to have curbside charging, street charging, from the edge of your property to the street in a safe manner, that would just save so much charging angst for a lot of people, because we don't have to worry about occupying DC chargers for that period of time.
Yep, and I love how it's so discreet. You can't even see the wires. It's nice. Very well built. Now we talked about Volkswagen quite a bit, so let's put this one up. So Volkswagen to build 2 EVs with the help of rival XPeng. Interesting. Riz, do you know more?
So XPeng is one of the main Chinese electric vehicle makers. They did well initially, and they were sort of like a more affordable Tesla of China, very tech focused. They have some good charging technology. They have their own charging infrastructure, like the Tesla superchargers. But in recent years, as there's a more number of growing EV brands in China, they've really struggled to stand out. They've launched a couple of cars, which people, including our guest Elliot, has driven. And we spoke about this the last time that he was on as well. He drives an older XPeng as well, and they've hit it off. But now, last couple of years, they've really struggled. So they're finding a way to stay relevant, and I guess this may be a lifeline. Volkswagen has plenty of money to spend from their ICE businesses. So they are also trying to minimize the amount of market share they're losing, because Volkswagen's fallen off the cliff in China, and that was their biggest market. So they're trying to stay relevant. I think we'll see a lot more partnerships with some of the Chinese manufacturers from European brands and American brands in China, because I think pretty much a lot of them will exit.
Yep. Yeah, makes sense. I guess, China is the place to be at the moment for making EVs, so we shall see what happens. All right, let's whip through some more news. So GridServe secures £526 million green loan to expand UK's EV charging network. 3,000 charge points at 500 sites to boost public charging. That's fantastic. That's the kind of thing we need here in Australia.
Yeah, I love the fact that it's a green loan as well. Yeah, and the fact that, having looked at some of GridServe's previous sites as well, the fact that they have 40, 60 chargers in one location with toilets, with undercover, with solar, with Costa coffee, which is deplorable considering Melbourne coffee. But hey, that's the UK. That's the coffee they do. That's okay. We'll let you live with it. And yeah, food and amenities as well. That's fantastic. If we could get even a third of that in Victoria, in some of the other states, New South Wales obviously leading the charge, that would make an absolute, it'd be an absolute game changer in EV adoption in Australia.
Yeah, 100%. How's waiting for my Tesla tours to start up? Yeah, never know, right? All over the countryside. And yeah, Tassie EV one. The UK has some good solutions for street charging, from what Fully Charged has shown in the past. I think Bridie also xed some Amsterdam pictures too on her European trip, showing some street charging options too, which is pretty cool. Oh yes, and Ray, I was going to put this up too. So everyone knows myself and Kara are a team in the 2024 Winters shitbox rally from Melbourne to Alice Springs via Birdsville and Broken Hill on a vehicle costing less than $1,500. I'd love to do in EV. Thank you, Ray. Yep, I forgot to do it last week for you, but here it is. That's a little notice there. Thanks a lot, Ray. Charles Gregory, GridServe, the gold class of charging services. Thank you. And okay, NYOB. I just got my Model Y Performance a few months ago. I did pay for FSD, and I just got a software update. 2023.20.8 listed as bug fixes. The update actually contains the code for FSD 11.3.6. That is correct. That's some speculation we've had that it might be getting close, indeed. I'll just put this up here. That this is the Mini Cooper interior, the next gen 2025 EV. Featuring a 9.4-inch circular OLED display in the middle of the dashboard. And here's the video of it in action. Pretty long. Halfway. Games. Yep. Yeah, all right. Well, that's I suppose that's quite innovative. Looks different. I think the current Mini Cooper electrics have got a round display anyway, I think. So this is taking cool. Notice how they're getting more minimalistic too, right? Like less buttons, just screens now.
That looks super funky to me. Yeah. I think there's a, like, even for your screens in Model 3, Model Ys, in your Teslas, there is a third party fix where you can put an amount where you can swivel your screens as well. And yeah, the fact that this is circular, resembling that steering wheel, but the rest of the dashboard looks so minimalistic. I love the look of it personally. Yeah.
And no speedo behind the steering wheel. What's going on?
Well, this is what's interesting now, right? So I think in that video, Tom, you played, they showed a Mario Kart or something similar in terms of a game.
Some racing game. Yep.
So Mini is owned by BMW, which some people know about. BMW has been pushing a lot in getting video games into their latest infotainment systems, and this is probably an iteration of that as well, just in a circular format. So interesting to see. There's also speculation this week that Volkswagen has lodged a patent to remove stalks from some of their vehicles. And then there is the Volkswagen ID.7, which look very similar to a Model 3 in terms of its interior minimalistic design, down to the air vents and the way you control them.
No.
But they're not producing them because apparently Volkswagen reckons there's no demand for their EVs. So they've cut that back, the production, and their CEO has recently said that the roof is on fire of the company and something needs to happen. So I think German brands are really struggling, and they're going to do a lot of interesting things that will resemble Tesla and other EV manufacturers. So I think we'll maybe do a regular segment on that.
Yeah. No demand for EVs. I thought that was Toyota's tagline. Is Volkswagen doing it too now?
No, I think Toyota's tagline is we need to be diversifying the fuel systems and powertrains we use,
Yep.
aka keep burning and doing what we're doing. But our hybrid system is so amazing; it's self-charging.
Self-charging. That's it. Yep. The world's not ready for battery electric. Yep. Billy Lid, is that eye thing from Lord of the Rings? All-seeing eye. That's cool. I like this call from Sydney EV too. Tesla center screen. OMG, it's horrible. Mini center screen. OMG, that's awesome. Yeah, good call. I like it. OLED dash for that added burn-in. Yeah, I suppose.
It's basically like they've grabbed one of those Android circular watches and have just expanded it so that it fits into a center dash of a Mini. And Minis are no longer Minis; they're huge. They're like
Huge,
the size of mini SUVs.
The Countryman's pretty big. I like this one. Imagine if the Mini had Sentry mode. That eye would be huge. Lol. Imagine having an eye follow you as you walk around the car trying to get in. Right, that would be so amazing. That'd be so funny. Yeah, good point from Greg. Toyota tagline is now, look at this new vaporware battery tech coming in a few years. Yeah, touche, but true.
It's a solid product. It's in its solid state.
That's right. 1,000 kilometer solid state, no proof. All right, let's finish off the night with this one. This is share of new car sales electric in 2022, split by battery electric and plug-in hybrids. So this is no surprise to everyone that Norway was leading the pack in 2022. Iceland, Sweden, Denmark, Finland, yep, all the Scandinavian countries. And Netherlands, yep, as we've seen from pictures of Amsterdam recently. And then Germany, China, some other places in Europe. Where's Australia? Oh, New Zealand's up there. 8.8. I mean, that's last year's data.
Australia is right up there. Oh no, sorry, that's Austria.
Austria, close.
Sorry.
Very close. We're beating Japan. What a feeling. Beating India. Well, last year we were. And there you go, a few others too.
I think I shared this quickly, Tom. Obviously, people talk about hybrids, battery electric, and then hydrogen as well. But you can clearly see with solar, with renewables, with the battery technology improving, that battery electric vehicles are pretty much the way to go. I think there was also an article about buses that were going to be hydrogen powered in France being scrapped, that whole project, because battery electric buses were just going to be 100% more cheaper than having hydrogen buses available as well. So great to see the adoption of BEVs globally just keep on increasing, and Australia is just on the cusp of leaping through some of these countries and making a huge leap forward. So looking forward to that journey.
When you look at last month's data, 8.8%, as Riz shares with us, we'd be up there with New Zealand from last year's data. So getting there. And good to see that, that blue bar is, overtaking the orange bar now, getting more electric versus plug-in hybrid. So as we also shared a few weeks ago too, that's starting to happen. Gents, what a week, hey? So much to talk about. I could keep going, but I think we better stop. It's getting late. Thanks again. Is there anything else we want to talk about, Riz, Rahul?
All good. Save for next time.
I like it. In that case, I will thank both of you for joining us as always on a Thursday night. I'll start with you, Rahul. Thank you so much as always.
Riz, Tom, great to be here. Thank you for the audience who tuned in. I know the Matildas were playing tonight. We were very good. We didn't spoil the result for you, so you want to watch it on replay. But if you've enjoyed this, please like that YouTube channel so we can get more people interested in EVs across Australia as well. Thank you for being part of the journey so far.
That's right. So say in the classics, like, comment, subscribe. Riz, thank you so much as always.
Thanks, everyone. It's been good. So much happening and so much good engagement around all things EVs. Excited for what's to come, and with a lot of news out of the US and now in Australia as well. I think next year is going to be even better, but hopefully NRMS starts charging for their chargers.
Yep. Please start charging NRMA, please. Happy for you guys to come on the show to discuss too. Like, seriously. You guys need to start charging. Release that app you've been promising. 2023 is getting on. All right. Well, thank you everyone for watching us live as well. I really appreciate your engagement and questions and comments and queries. So good. And if you're watching us on replay, make sure you leave a comment as well. And as always, we have our Saturday show with me and Riz. Right on cue, Gaffer. What time is Saturday live? Here we go. So we've got Saturday, 29 July, 8 a.m. AEST. Excuse me, AEST, Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane. And some more international times too, if you want to tune in from overseas. There you go. Some guidance there. Okay, well, thank you, gents. Thank you, audience. And Riz and I will see you on Saturday, and Rahul will see us on Thursday next week. Thanks as always, and happy charging. Take care, everyone. Bye now.